people and then have Adam Fern come up and speak about the student trainers that were so valuable to our program this year. First of all, John Socha, if you would stand, John. Pretty much it, John. That's about as high as he goes. John Socha is a physical therapist, and he's really a former athlete, former great wrestler, and really volunteers a lot of his time to help make sure that our boys are in tip-top shape, and if they're injured, that they're on the way to a speedy recovery. As I say, he volunteers a lot of his time. I think he's a tremendous asset to our program, and he's really emotionally attached to our program. I can remember before the Irvington game, him coming up to the field and just saying, "We gotta win. We gotta win. We gotta beat these guys. This is it." You know, and the same thing with the state final game. He's really very much involved, and I appreciate his help very much. If you would just give John a hand out. Adam Fern is a trainer. He's a teacher of trainers. He also helps with our stretching routine and our post-practice conditioning program. A lot of coaches tell me that they think that the Summit football team is one of the best conditioned group of athletes in the county. And I think that Adam is a big reason for that. And I also believe that Adam Fern and the job that he did with the training staff with the student trainers is a big part of a big reason why we had an 11-0 season this year. I'd like to ask Adam to come up and say some words about his trainers.
See the moms and the volunteers who put together such a great meal. The student trainers, one of those thankless jobs, but they're there. They're every day. They're plugging away. They get to see your boys in various states of dress, undress, and duress. Okay, they're there all the time, and we see them at their best, and we see them at their worst. And just like they had one little thing here, tell them to wash their feet. I get to see. More bad feet than anybody else has. One thing I'd like to say about the group of guys sitting to my left here, I've been an athlete and a trainer and a coach for over 20 years, high school, college, and beyond. And believe me, there's not a better cared for and prepared group of athletes that take a field due to these men right here. This is the best coaching staff I have ever been a part of. You don't know how much these guys care about your kids. From August 16th till December 4th and beyond. She's been working with me for 3 years now. Mickey Davis, who had some trouble with injuries, he became a trainer, helped out with statisticians. He's almost like having another coach around. Mickey's a great help to us. Stacy Walker has helped us out. Tricia Critelli, who's here earlier, she had to leave. She's been a great help. She can run a show all by herself. And then there's the captain of our team, the one who does the most work and is there the longest and works the hardest and asks for the least. And she's right here tonight. I'd like to bring her up, Polly Bizzoni.
That is a critical ingredient to their success. I have great admiration for Bev and the job that she's done with the cheerleaders, and I'd like to have her come up and say a few words about her young ladies.
I don't really have very much of a voice right now. But I just want to say that, this year the girls went to cheerleading camp again. There's 19 girls, and it is a big group of girls. And we decided to have 3 captains this year. And God knows I didn't know how I could get. But all of that, we're very
5 years. This year, this freshman team had a 7-1 record. And that 7-1 record is pretty typical of the type of records that John has had during the last 5 years. Freshman football is not just wins and losses. It's a tough transition from the rather mild demands of the youth football program to a structure and commitment of Hilltopper football. During the past 5 years, John has helped many young men prepare and mature for our varsity football program, and he's a big reason for the success of this year's varsity football team. I'd like to ask John to come up and speak about his freshman football team.
In the numbers this year, so we took a number of sophomores and moved them to their full potential, and combining with the freshmen, we were able to put together a very exciting season, a very good season. As I call these young men, these 10 young men, these 10 freshmen up here, you will notice that these boys, or these young men, they do not engender fear. They don't stir fear in the hearts of the enemy. I mean, these guys are neat people this year, decidedly, despite their lack of size. They are tremendous players, and they have tremendous heart. And the amazing thing about our season is we won 7 games, and we did it between the hashes. Right? We didn't use smoke and mirrors. We didn't use tricks. We just basically got after people. Mike Caputo. Harlan Pond. This guy strikes very hard. As a coach, when you want your kids to come through, it was a come from behind win. It was a tough win. It was a knockdown, drag out, a very low scoring game. And in that game, I can honestly say that these young men did everything right. After we got the jitters out of our way, we had a bad first series, but they moved down the field, they scored, they were scored upon, and they came back. When it's getting dark and it's getting cold, and it started to rain, and they had these things that looked like Claymore mines all over the field at Irvington. And they came back and they won the game. I mean, they scored a touchdown, and then they stopped them. It's not over until it's over. And they scored, they stopped them, and we walked away winning. And I kept saying, "Come on, hang in there, you'll get it. You snap the ball nice, just spike your feet and throw at your elbows and make yourself big." And by the end of the season, he just snapped. As soon as he got into that game, he started snapping, and he didn't stop until the end of the season. And I don't think he had one bad snap the entire season. Our most improved player, Harlan Pond. Yards to carry. Okay? You're doing fine. Hang in there, okay? And Coach's Award for desire, determination, drive, contribution, everything, Peter Torres.
One of the leaders of the people that volunteer their time. And I'd like to ask Brad to come up and say some words and present some gifts, I think, to some of the people that helped out.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm a coach and I'm a father, and I'm one of the captain's fathers. But I really didn't do anything. I just did the coaching, and my wife did everything. The hours of preparation and what it takes to put together a Saturday morning breakfast for about 45 to 50 people, because not only do the football players, the coaches, the trainers, and the rest of the staff show up for a great breakfast, but we get these little Hilltoppers that carry the phone lines that hold the lines on the sidelines for Krug, and you know, we get total participation from a lot of people. And it's a great thing, it's a great atmosphere, and for the underclassmen parents, I urge you, get involved on Saturday mornings. It's a lot of fun, it's meaningful, and the memories and the friendships that you develop, you'll have forever. Okay, it just makes being a Hilltopper that much more special. In addition to Saturday mornings, you know, during football season, we eat great, man, I'm telling you. Friday night, it starts on Friday night. And one of the senior parents offers up their home, and you get a bunch of senior parents cooking and donating food for Friday night. That's when Krug gains all his weight during football. You see him come in on September 1st, he's looking lean and mean, but by the end of the season, he's back big lineman again. But, you know, that happens Friday nights. You know, all the volunteerism for the picnic, Friday night and Saturday mornings, it's just tremendous. And there's some very special people that we need to recognize. Carol Welch. Dan and Sue Nelson. Sue couldn't. Aldo and Irene Curiel. Bob and Georgie Carton. Jan Golden. Marie Wenslaw, I see you back there. Glenn and Brenda Stiles. Dot. And Gary and Claudia.
Well, we just spoke about a lot of volunteers that we have that help us in the coming from the ranks of the parents. We also have some volunteers that help us with the actual administration of our football program. And I'd like to take this time to recognize those people right now. First of all, we have two men that scout for us. They're just members of the Summit community. One was a former player. Another just lives in town here as a former college football player at Temple. And they go out and they scout. They're knowledgeable, they're accurate, and they're a big part of the success that we have had over the course of the years. Rick Carbone is a former player, and he's not here tonight, I don't think. And Phil Shiposh, he's who we call Temple Phil. He played football at Temple in their better days. Okay, and I really think he's definitely Mr. Summit football. If there's a job that needs to be done, you call Gil. You name it, he's involved, whether it's scouting, fundraising, coaching, computer breakdowns, statistics, and on and on and on. Whatever we ask him to do, he does. And there's no job that's too small for him. I often tell our players that the way to get the most is to give the most. And Gil is a person that lives by that philosophy, and he's given more of his time and more of his energy to this football program than anybody involved. I'd like to have Gil just stand up and about him before he comes back up. Brad is a former star quarterback of a state championship Hilltopper squad. In fact, interesting thing that happened, Brad's father's in the back there, and his father was a player on a state championship football team at Rutherford High School. And Brad was the quarterback of the 72 Hilltoppers that were state champs. And Ian is now a captain of a third state championship team. So to me, that's something special. That's for their family, and I admire it greatly. Brad's he's a high energy guy. You know, he's a coach who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty, or his arms, or his shoulders, or his chest, or his back, or his knees. You know, any of those things. He coaches our outside linebackers, and he also coaches the receivers, and does a tremendous job running what we call our scout team, which is the group of invaluable football players that demonstrate the other team's offense and defense for our starting squads during the course of the practice week. Brad plays scout team quarterback on that unit, and him playing makes the unit better and is a great motivator for the rest of our team. I think his scout team statistics are down a little bit this year. He didn't rush for as much yardage or pass for quite as much as he did the year before, but time marches on. I'd like to have Brad now please come up and speak about the players that he coached.
That's okay. Ronnie Paxson, Summit Hilltoppers, 1976. Right here. How about them Hilltoppers, huh? I'm still fired up, man. Let's go play right now, huh? I'm telling you. Hey, there's something that I always wanted to do. I'm going to do right now. Okay? When we come out on that field, and the cheerleaders are doing their thing, and the band is playing. And it's Saturday afternoon, and we got the uniforms on, man, and everybody's looking good, and the adrenaline's flowing. And then we come out, and we got fans like all you people, all you parents, all you friends, all you families, whoever you are, you're there and you're supporting us. Plainfield, we go down there on a miserable day to open up the season, and we got more fans than them. We got umbrellas, Chase Manhattan, and there's blue ones in Canoga. You know where the southern people are, but man, they're all over the place. Then you go down to Westfield, big day down there, right? Raining, pouring, they're dedicating the stadium. They got like 3 people in the stands, and we show up with like a couple hundred. It doesn't get any better than that. And you go to, then Irvington comes into our house, and we're all fired up, and the fans are more fired up than we are. It doesn't get any better than that. And then you know what happened at Mendham. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's fucking awfully dark, and then all of a sudden, you guys go crazy, and we win the damn game, we're 11-0. So you know what we're gonna do right now? I want every Hilltopper football player standing up. I'd like to have the coaching staff stand up, and I think we need to give everybody else in this room a round of applause. What do you say? Let's go. Up, let's go. Start with the underclassmen, and I'd like Tyler Waugh to come up here. I got it. Tyler is a sophomore who really made great progress this year playing at tight end and defensive end. He had an excellent and busy season at the JV level and contributed at the freshman level as well and participated on all the scout teams. Tyler's dedication to the Hilltopper success this year at all levels is greatly appreciated, and we look forward to his return next year. Give a round of applause. Brian is another sophomore who really enjoys playing football. He worked extremely hard all season at outside linebacker and split end. Brian had a great year at the JV level and made some key plays on offense and defense in all the JV games. His hard work and commitment to all the scout teams helped the Hilltoppers enjoy the success that we were able to achieve. We were counting on Brian to step in and be a real force on both sides of the ball next year. Brian, thanks. Okay, Chuck's a sophomore, first year Hilltopper, and he picked the right year to move to Summit, I'll tell you that. He made great progress in adapting to the single wing and was a real force at outside linebacker. We didn't realize how talented Chuck was until the Cranford JV game. Jordan was out with a broken thumb and John Brown was out sick for the day. We had a game but no center. Well, we get on the bus and Krug says, "Chuck, you're playing center." And he stepped in, made every snap, no mistakes, and fortunately, we beat Cranford. Unfortunately, Chuck, shortly after that, he injured his shoulder, and he was lost for the season. Chuck's a real team player, has a great attitude, and we look forward to his return next year. Okay. Jeff is a sophomore. Jeff literally kicked off the 1993 season as our place kicker and had an outstanding year at blocking back and defensive back. Jeff was also a major contributor on the JV team as well and was always there working hard on all the scout teams. As a place kicker, Jeff had 19 extra points and also came up with 2 key interceptions in varsity games. Jeff is a talented all-around player and we look forward to next year as he will have a real impact towards our success. Thanks. Pat's a sophomore. He's a real versatile player who made a tremendous amount of progress this year at tight end and outside linebacker. He had a real impact on the success of the JV team, helped out at the freshman level, and hustled and gave great effort on all the scout teams against the varsity. Pat is a dedicated Hilltopper who will step in next year and be a real force on both sides of the ball. Thanks a lot. Corey is a junior. He came to us, he moved to Summit halfway through the season from Texas and automatically received the nickname Longhorn. Corey is an excellent place kicker whose addition to the team really helped to strengthen the kicking game. Corey had 18 extra points half a season and also played split end and defensive backs. We look forward to his contributions next year as well. Corey. Back next year, I hope I'm standing here, we're 11-0, 22-0 again. How about a round of applause? Coach as well. Alan Chu. Alan's a senior who's also a first-year player for the Hilltoppers. Alan made the commitment to play football this year and really contributed to the team. He participated in all the summer workouts and worked extremely hard at split end and defensive back all year. Alan made great progress and contributed greatly on all the scout teams. It's a very difficult thing to participate in the sport, especially football as a first-year player. But Alan's commitment, hard work, and dedication is something that all the players and coaches will always respect and admire. Thanks for your effort in being a Hilltopper this year, Alan. Rich Golden, senior, outside linebacker. Returned for his senior year with a vengeance. He had some serious shoulder neck problems at the end of his junior season, but helped to set the standard for the season over the summer this year as he attended all the drills and the weight room sessions. You could see he was on a mission. He earned a starting position rotating at outside linebacker, was a member of all the special teams, and helped to lead the scout practice teams on offense and defense. Rich is not the biggest kid on the team, but one of the hardest hitters. I know. Rich had the hardest hit of the year when he decked me during the pregame at a Hackensack playoff game. My shoulders, it's still sore. I still can't move it, full range. Isn't that what you trainers say, full range? He is a real versatile football player who will be missed next year. good luck to you. And he has a real future in designing championship T-shirts too. I don't know if you saw some of the T-shirts, and he brought some tonight. So if you want to see him, he'll get you a couple. I hope you have to come back next year and design another one for him. Thanks. All right, question. Here's the question. What do you get when you mix together players like Ronnie Lott and Deion Sanders? What do you get? You get Karan Venable. You get a quiet, mild, and subdued football player. I've never had the fun or experience of being able to coach a player like Karan until he arrived on the Barren Land. Karan loves to personally make sure that the defense is fired up and ready to play. And one more thing. When K-Rock makes a tackle, interception, or fumble recovery against you, he will never let you forget it. Right? Karan loves football, loves the team, and possesses the heart and desire of players twice his size. He played on special teams, started at defensive back, and contributed greatly as well on the scout teams. He had 19 solo tackles, 21 assisted tackles, and 2 interceptions, and was named to honorable mention as an all-area selection. His enthusiasm, good nature, and personality will be missed. Make sure you come back next year, and you make sure when you do come back, you help us turn on the percolator. Senior. Kevin is just one of those kids you just gotta love. His determination and heart are bigger than his smile. Look at that kid smile. There isn't anything that Kevin would not do for the Hilltoppers. He would look forward each week to simulate and play positions of the opposing week's players, like that guy, Sapaniak or Marshman, who we handled. My scout team personally made sure that the varsity was ready to play each week. It was that enthusiasm and fun-loving attitude that Kevin brought to practice every day that enabled him to start in a rotation at end and at defensive back on defense. Kevin caught 5 passes this year, 3 for TDs, and averaged 25 yards per catch. And no one. Is that your boy? I know that feeling. And no one will ever forget the touchdown reception that got us going against Irvington. Man, no one was going to catch you that day. The Hilltoppers were extremely lucky to have Kevin. He will be hard to replace next year at any position. Good luck. Go Michigan. Okay, Danny Sr. Danny's one of the most dedicated and unselfish players I have ever had the privilege of coaching. He accepted his role as blocking back in our offense with great pride and determination, knowing his main responsibility was to lead the way on a majority of the Hilltopper plays, and he did so very effectively. He did not have the opportunity to carry the ball much, but he did become known as swivel hips as the season went on. Not knowing moves and swung his hips like Elvis Presley on various screenplays thrown to him, and became very effective as a pass receiver, making 6 receptions for 105 yards and averaged over 17 yards per catch. He was also selected as a back on the second team all-area selection. On defense, Dan was second in total points on the total points earned in the defensive category. He had 1 fumble recovery, 3 interceptions, and swiveled his way into the end zone against Cranford with an interception return. Danny is an extremely hard worker and talented player that we will all miss. He's already been accepted at Middlebury, and he's going to go up there and show those guys how to play Hilltopper football, and wish him the best of luck. Thank you. One of the more vocal and excitable players on the team. He's an extremely versatile player who at various times during the season played at outside linebacker and switched to defensive end sometimes in the same game when the Hilltoppers got a little thin with injuries. Randall has been a 3-year starter, has had a fantastic career, and has always had a knack for making big plays when the Hilltoppers needed them. He led the team this year with 8 running back sacks and also had 5 fumble recoveries. He's an excellent blocker at split end as well. Randall also had 2 TD receptions and was selected to the 3rd team All-Area. Randall is a true Hilltopper that will be missed and hard to replace next year. Thanks, Randall.
Next coach is Jimmy Deach. He's going to come up and speak about his players. Jimmy's our associate head coach. He's my right-hand man. He's the head baseball coach at our school. He's a great one. Can easily be the head football coach here at Summit. He calls all the defenses in the game. He's a great teacher of football, and he's a fine man with fine values. He's the kind of guy you want to coach your son. I'd like to have Jimmy come up and speak about the players that.
First of all, I'll introduce my position players tonight are the inside linebackers and also the offensive backfield people. First off is Jay Rappa. Jay, sophomore from Seton Hall Prep. Good thing you came back before that scrimmage. We used to have a long list of split ends. The smaller guys used to be split ends, but when we moved that split end in, they all kind of migrated to wingback. And Scotty worked out very, very well as a wingback. He came on and made a very valuable contribution both on offense and defense, both on helping out with that freshman group and also on the JV level. He's a hard worker. He's got a great attitude and a lot of dedication to the program. Congratulations, Scotty. What I admire about Vinny is his contributions on a daily basis on the scout team. He'll line up at wingback, at tailback, wherever, and he'll go against the first team. He'll get knocked down. He'll bounce right back up for more. A real dedicated football player, and he just absolutely loves to play the game, and we're just very happy to have him. But the ones I did see and help out with on occasion, Jamal gets my vote for the most improved player in that group. He plays tailback, he plays wingback, he plays halfback on defense, safety on defense, plays a little bit with the freshman group. What Jose offers to our football program is a 110% hustle. This is our second group, and you can just get the feeling that the other team says, oh, here comes their second team. And then out comes Kawan running like a runaway freight train. Next, sophomore Steve Schroeder. When you can be a participant in perhaps the greatest play in Summit football history, and to be a sophomore and be involved in that play is unbelievable. We all stood there on December 4th with 35 seconds left to go in the game, realized the whole championship lies either on this play or the next play, and in steps a sophomore in that situation and just cool as a cucumber, sidesteps one guy and throws the most picture-perfect pass you could ever lay your eyes on. And I happen to personally believe that play was the single greatest dramatic play in the history of Summit football. Well over 50%, 377 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. And also, Steve made a great contribution to this team in a lot of other ways. He was a very valuable linebacker for us. He played every down in the JV games as a middle linebacker and a tailback on offense. He contributed 17 tackles in varsity football games. And he is just one fine football player, and he has had a great start to his career. Congratulations. Over at Plainfield, it put us in just a little bit of a bind. We were going to have to go to a backup at one of the critical positions in our whole offense. And we couldn't do it that day with Carl because he hadn't played penny at that position. But little did we know that we would put Coral in at what's the most critical position in your offensive line, and we would not miss a beat on offense, having lost what, arguably was our best lineman coming back. It's not a bad football team I'm putting together here, and I only have about a third of the group. Ian was the first team All-County, first team All-State Group 2, first team All-Area, and absolutely the finest fullback around, no question. Tremendous blocker. This the reason why guys are rushing for 1,200 yards and other guys are rushing for 400 and 500 is because, usually Ian is the lead blocker. And anybody who played against us has certainly felt the impact of one of his lead blocks. It wears you down in a hurry to take the thumping that he's delivering, play in and play out. He is a super leader, unselfish, completely unselfish. Ian is a tremendous fullback, and could have very easily been very selfish this year because we had so much other talent in the backfield. But that's not Ian's nature. Ian is 100% Summit Hilltopper football, whatever it takes to win. Carried the ball 96 times for 504 yards. That's 5.3 yards. And every one of those 5 yards are up that middle, and that is tough going up in there. Had 4 additional receptions for 37 yards, scored 8 touchdowns. On defense, led the team with 71 tackles, had a fumble and an interception. One of the finest linebackers we have ever had, and the greatest thing I can say about Ian is what a pleasure to coach him. Ian Paxton. Our other captain, Bobby Bickle. Bobby was also a first-team All-State Group 2, first-team All-Area, should have been first-team All-County. And in my mind, he is first-team All-State, all groups as a person. Bobby's contributions to this team are not measurable because they're all the behind the scenes, just the leadership, the dedication, the work ethic that this guy takes with him to the practice field every day, to the game field every day. There are guys that you can look at and you can say, he's a winner. This guy is a winner, believe me. He is a tremendous blocker at tight end. Last year he caught no passes. This year he led the team with 29. Again, one of the finest linebackers in Summit history. When the going gets tough, there are certain guys that just rise to the occasion. We had our backs to the wall down at Plainfield. Who's the guy that comes up with the big play? Bobby does. A couple of key pass receptions, the tip ball in the end zone. Little did we know that the first and last games were going to be that kind of a situation. On defense, when we needed a big play, third down, we got to stop him here. It was Bobby making the play, no question about it. He had 29 catches for 350 yards, 5 touchdowns, had a fumble, 2 interceptions. As the season wore on, we even used Bobby as a defensive end. We needed to get a little bit of a pass rush. We had Carl to put in at linebacker without any problem. And, as soon as we inserted Bobby in at defensive end, automatically we had, a couple of sacks coming right away. Hackettstown, a couple others, in that situation. If I had to say who's the best 11 football players that I've ever seen here at Summit High School, this guy is on that team, believe me. What a great season, what a great career. My only regret is these 3 guys right here are leaving our football program. But I tell you what, they leave it with a string of successes that can't be matched. Congratulations.
we bashed them on Saturday afternoon, and they weren't happy with that, and loaded their JV team up on Saturday and on Monday, and we were probably playing half of their JV team, and we beat them 28-14. An individual highlight of the season stands out for me at school stadium. I believe we were playing Shabazz. Lovell tied a record by blocking 2 punts in the game. He first blocked the punt and we scored, and then he blocked one of Schroeder's punts and they scored. As Dees called him, Schroeder gave him Wilson Enema. My first player is Jordan Dickinson. Season-ending wrist injury. Jordan was the first JV center to make good. I felt like we were never going to win a game JVs because of the when the Gamecocks played the Hounds, the snaps were so poor. I just didn't envision us ever scoring. Jordan came through with a lot of hard work, including a study session, snapping to his mother, trying to learn how to get the snaps down. His very first game, which was a resounding Summit victory, he had every snap was a perfect snap. Good season since Steve's escort on the play-action passes. Alfie put on terrific pass rush and also played the run very well. After the Cranford game, he never made another excuse. He had a very good season. Tyrone Ellis. Celebration last year, and he decided to come to Summit. He was a great addition for the Hilltoppers. He kicked out block on the strong screens. Starter, defensive end, and 5-man on offense. Jared's proudest moment this year, he shared with his dad, is that 57 Chevy drove through the fire. Pure mountain water started out as a drip of perspiration off his buttocks. Came down the hill and ended up in Jared was excellent on our fullback plays up the middle, teamed with Reggie on the 90 protection and was quite a pass blocker. Jared was awarded for his efforts as he made second team all-independent press. Senior. Rob was accomplished at the Stephen Cup on the play action and 90 protection on the shotgun. He excelled on post and lead blocks on the 7-hole play. Some of Torrey's biggest gains were on the counter, and Rob doing the blocking on that play. Player on a football team, and after 4 or 5 guesses, I got it by saying it was the center who started every play. Well, after coaching the single wing for 2 years, I would have guessed the center right away because I know his value to the team. Reggie was a real key to the offense. His snaps were low and allowed for the deceptions of the play to develop. And his lead snaps got the ball on the corner in a hurry. Reggie had about 45 snaps a game, and I think only 2 or 3 snaps were bad all season long. Reggie made his mark as Summit's first single wing center in the Benedict era. He did it in championship fashion, and Reggie was honored with honorable mention, independent press. Every coach has a whipping boy, and I think this is Coach Benedict. Player I've ever coached. He worked hard and earned the defensive tackle position late last year and carried it on through this year and did a great job all season long. One of my favorite evenings all fall was attending Nick's retirement dinner when he bowed out of all place kicking responsibility. This tough play earned Nick independent press honorable mention. Played to the 8th game of the season to get him into the lineup. Ball size and strength were evident right away as he stood out and at defensive end against our stiffest competition. His outstanding games against Hackettstown, Irvington, and Mendham earned him second team All-County and second team Group 2 All-State as an end. It was another big year and another career year as Coach Dees told you. very good season, thankfully.
And whereas this accomplishment has brought great pride to both Summit High School and the city of Summit, and whereas this could not have been achieved without our talented coaches and our outstanding players, therefore I, Janet L. Whitman, Mayor of the City of Summit, hereby proclaim Saturday, December 4th, 1993 as Summit Hilltoppers Day. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city to be affixed on the 9th day of December in the year of our Lord, 1993. Is graciously giving them some plaques commemorating the championship season. We have rings, championship rings coming forward, and the boys have all been measured for those, and we'll get those sometime in March. And the state has given us some championship certificates also. So a lot of nice things are happening for this team. I'd like to take this time just to say a few words, maybe just to editorialize or just to say a couple comments, things that I feel about football and about this team. Remember, the mission was the theme. To some, the mission was to return to the finals and to win the state championship. To me, the mission was the same this year as it's been every year. I want for our players to do the best they can at all times, in every practice and in every game. When a team does this and has the ability that these players had, it achieves great things. The championships themselves, well, they just kind of take care of themselves when you do the things that I mentioned. You take a hand and you open that hand, and you got 5 fingers, and those 5 fingers point in 5 different directions. But when you close that hand, you form a very powerful fist. Well, when a football team comes together at the beginning of a season, it's very similar. You have 38 fingers pointing in 38 different directions. And when that team comes together, when those 38 fingers close, then they form a powerful and undefeatable unit. During the season, there are forces at work that try to pry the fingers of the fist apart. It might be a well-meaning fellow student who says you should be playing instead of the other guy. It might be the town loudmouth. We got a couple of them in this town. That might be trying to divide the team. It might be a well-meaning parent who only loves their child and wants the very best for them. But there are things that work. There are forces that work to try and pry the team apart. And when a team comes together and truly creates great things, it's when they do not allow this to happen. When they keep the fist closed tightly, and when they trade the idea of me think for the idea of team think. When I salute you, and that I admire you, and that I will never forget you. Okay, we have, and on behalf of the players, and the coaching staff, and the trainers, and the statisticians, and the cheerleaders, we would like to present you and our school and our town with the North Jersey Section 2 Group 2 State Championship Trophy.
Accepted over the last 25-year period of time that I've spent as principal of Summit High School. I do know that there has been no season or no championship that has given me as much personal pleasure and as much pride and as much joy to this community and to Summit High School as this one, and I congratulate you.
One of the great people in the history of Summit football, and has quietly worked behind the scenes the last 7 years to make sure that we have kept Summit football in the forefront of the county and in the state. He's a great athletic director, and he's a true hilltopper football person, and has great love for our students and for Summit football. Howie Anderson. I'd like to just read off the awards that we will be be giving out. We're giving one for most improved, we're giving one for alignment of the year, we're giving one for a back of the year, we're giving a defensive award, defensive player of the year, we're giving an offensive player of the year, we're giving a coach's award, and we're giving a most valuable player award. There's not enough awards to go around when you have a team of this caliber. I seriously contemplated giving no awards because I think that occasionally awards serve to divide people, and you know, why didn't I get one, and that kind of stuff. I think this team, with their willingness to sacrifice and to trade that the me thing for the team thing, can handle this and can do it, and be proud of their teammates that win the award. We set one guideline out that we're only going to have one award. One player is going to win one award. I think we might have some fellows on our team that could win more than one award, but we just wanted to be able to honor a lot of people, so that's the way we did it. First of all, for our most improved, now these players have been talked about quite a bit, and I'm not going to say a lot about them. I'll just say a couple of words because you've already heard about these guys. I don't want to duplicate a lot of things here. Our most improved player goes to a fellow who probably had a disappointing sophomore year, was really an outstanding football player, and because of being so good at so many different positions, we opted to use him as a backup, which really wasn't fair to him, but we know that if we ever had an injury during a game, that he could step in at several positions and keep us moving right along. And we did that. He was upset about it, but he came out and made himself a more determined and a better football player. And he was outstanding as a sophomore, but made himself even better to be one of the top football players on our team, Carl Demuth. Carl, congratulations on behalf of the coaching staff and the rest of your team. They played linebacker, and then some of them played, on the offensive line. They play on the defensive line, and not play on offense or something like that. But we had one fellow that was a two-way starter and was really an outstanding football player on both sides of the ball, and that's Jared Harrison. He spoke at length about this fellow. He's an outstanding man. He's kind of an instant offense type of a player, not only as a passer but as a receiver too, and as a runner. And our Back of the Year award goes to Jamie Allen. We have a system of accumulating points in our which are based on tackles and interceptions and fumble recoveries and forced fumbles and sacks and things of that nature. And sometimes the top point getter wins the defensive award, and sometimes he doesn't. But this year we felt that the person that won the most points was also an outstanding defensive player, the outstanding defensive player for our team. That's Randall Welsh. Better offensive player in the county, in Union County. He scored the most points of anybody in the county. Anytime that we needed the ball to be moved down the field, whether it was running or by catching the ball, or we needed a touchdown, we put the ball in this fellow's hands and made us look like good coaches. And I think that he's not only one of the outstanding players in the county offensively, but also maybe one of the very, very best in the state. I don't know if there's two or three that are any better, but I haven't seen them all, so I can't tell you. But that obviously goes to Torrey Fox. This is something that's kind of I view it as a great honor. It's something that we really want to honor someone who maybe doesn't fit in the category of outstanding lineman or defensive player or back or any of the other awards, and yet the person that makes our program what it is. He's a person that really does everything that the coaches ask the players to do. Has great commitment to the team, has great discipline, and just does everything the right way. And this year that award goes to Dan Nelson. You really know real well and you spend a lot of time with and everything, but oftentimes it goes to somebody that is such a joy to coach. You don't spend much time with them because you're spending time with the guys that occasionally are a pain in the neck, and you got to get those guys going off in the right direction. So Danny's a guy, I hardly ever talk to him, but I just have great admiration for him. And then we have Most Valuable Player Award, our final award. And we're giving, in 1989, we gave it out to two players, David Morton and Matt Duffy, who were outstanding players. And this year we're going to do the same thing. We have two fellows that you've already heard about that, to me, are like assistant coaches out on the field. If I were to try to grab a freshman football player and guide him as to the type of player that we would like to see him, that our coaching staff would like to see him become by the time he's a senior, well, all I would do is make a film of these two fellows. I can tell them apart, but I can't tell them apart on the practice field because of their great dedication and their great effort. They love to play football. Some people love to play, let me put it this way, they love the games. They love, they love the game of football. They love practicing it. They like the locker room. I mean, you know, everything about it they enjoy. When we're working with second team players to try to improve those guys, they'll jump over on defense, whereas a lot of the players might step off to the side and take that opportunity to take a rest. These guys will jump over on defense and torment the second team just because they love playing the game. I think that you know, I've never coached a finer two guys, and I've never had a finer duo as captains, and they're our most valuable players, Ian Paxson and Bob Vick. House on Tuesdays and Thursdays and visit your award. We'll have food for you. Okay, I think the captains would like to say a few things, and I'm going to have them take over right now. Is that how we're doing it? Awards for the coaches. Thank you. Great season. Scout, behind the scene kind of guy. You don't get to see him a lot, but we really appreciate what he does for us. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the information and stuff about play these teams. He really deserves a round of applause. Open the award. Yeah, wait till everyone gets together.
Okay. They want it like Christmas morning. You open it all. Coach Oren, Coach Gilmore.
This one's for Coach Neese, who made me and Bobby one of the best duo linebackers ever played somewhere.
Can we open it?
Yeah, you can open it.
Thank you very much. It's very special. It's very special. Okay, folks, are we ready? I know we've been here a long time for a lot of talking. We got to coordinate. I'd like to say, you deserve a round of applause again. I'd also like to thank the trainers, Mr. Burns, staff, Mr. Burns, Mr. Sosha. Like I said, they helped me a great deal this year. I got my injury. I'd like to thank my family, Mr. Bean, supporting me, my mom and dad, coaches, Coach Cratch, and Coach Leroy Horn over there. He really helped me. Real inspiration at this point in the year. We had a big game come up. He took us aside, me and he talked to us, and really set me straight on two things about these teams. Coach Crew, Coach Paxson, Coach Teeth, and Coach Bennett. You got to be the funnest coaching staff around. Lastly, but not least, I'd like to thank the players. Without you guys, we would have never done it, and I'll never forget you guys. It was a great season. Thank you.
Bobby basically summed it up there. But I'm just going to say something real quick, to all the seniors out there. We've been through a lot together. A lot of us have been together ever since 4th grade. I just want to say you guys are a great bunch of guys, and I can't think of a better way to go out than 11-0 state champ.
It's funny how things start in the locker rooms, whether they're jokes or whether they're seriousness or whatever. But football teams have things that they just like to do and things that we appreciate. And at the end of every game this year, we're going to do it at the end of every victory, which happened to be all of them. So at the end of every game, John Brown would come forward and he would sing Amazing Grace. Johnny's nickname, we can call him the Brown Dog. That's probably from Coach Krug over there. We all have nicknames. But Johnny's the Brown Dog, and we had a little saying that it ain't over till the Brown Dog sings. So it's not going to be over until John does the honor.